Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over how you can go about earning massive amounts of additional gold by doing most things in Dragonflight. And I've been making videos going over all of these gold farms, and we have some of the most OP mob grinding spots that we've ever gotten in the game. And there are actually two professions with some specific specializations that will just skyrocket the amount of gold you can make from these mob grinding spots and just from doing anything else in the game. Running dungeons, questing, all this type of stuff is going to make a lot more gold with these two professions. So those two professions being tailoring and enchanting. Now starting off with tailoring, at a baseline, they just get additional cloth from looting humanoids. This has been a perk of tailoring since I think Wrath of the Lich King, but with the specializations in this expansion, it takes that to the next level. So you're going to want to go into tailoring mastery. You're going to go tailoring mastery and you're going to want to put enough points into this so you can go into cloth collection, and then you're putting all of your knowledge points into cloth collection until it's maxed out at 50 points. Because this is just going to give you ridiculous amounts of additional cloth. Now right off the bat, you're going to have a chance to get some specific damaged cloth from different enemies you're killing. And this can come in different elements. So certain enemies will drop frostbitten wilder cloth, certain enemies will drop singed wilder cloth, and so on. And then there's also decayed wilder cloth. But these cloths are only used for unraveling in tailoring, which if you don't know what that is, essentially you just unravel cloth and turn them into threads. And this is one of the main uses for the normal cloth, but with these specific wilder cloths, you have a chance to get rousing elements when unraveling those cloth. So if I have these singed wilder cloth here, pretty much the only use for them is unraveling, but I start unraveling them, turns them into threads, but every time I do it has a chance to give me rousing fire as well. And you can only get these cloths being a tailor speccing into cloth collection. So that's a ton of additional gold just off going into the first point of cloth collection, but then every additional effect you get on this wheel gives additional cloth. So 10% increase cloth, 10% increase cloth, 10% increase, 10% increase, 20% increase, 10% increase, 10%, 10%, 10%. Just a ridiculous amount of increased cloth drops. You'll loot some enemies and have a handful of multiple different types of cloth. Then, once you get the full 50 points, you have a chance to just get wilder cloth bolts off of humanoids. So you'll see here, I have some bolts, I have some tier 2 and tier 3 bolts, and these are all just from looting enemies. You'll just randomly get like 3 or 4 bolts of a different quality. And all of these different cloths sell for a decent amount of gold. And also, some of these cloths that we already went over can also go for a lot. I think specifically the decayed wilder cloth are going for like 70 gold a piece right now. So just off of this, just off of the additional cloths you're getting and just off of the unique cloths you're getting, you can just be making absurd amounts of gold just from going into this one specialization tree. If you have an alt and you go spec into this, you'll see how much actual cloth you're getting. And the increases to cloth drops should affect all of this. So it should affect the normal cloth, it should affect these new elemental cloths you're getting, and it should also affect the bolts, but I'm not 100% certain on the bolts yet. And that's all the points you need to put into specializations for tailoring if you're just focusing on farming. So that brings us to enchanting. Now, one of the big benefits of enchanting has always been disenchanting. You can disenchant all those random greens you get, all those old dungeon pieces, all those old raid pieces, you can disenchant that and make some gold off it. And these specific specialization trees take that to the next level. So first off, you're going into Insight of the Blue, and you're going to want to put your first 50 points into Insight of the Blue. Now at a baseline, what this is going to do is allow you to start looting mystic items off anything you kill. Now mystic items are either uncommon, rare, or epic items that are only used for disenchanting. So I have one right here, this Carving of Awakening. It's a mystic item. It's used for nothing besides just disenchanting. You'll disenchant it and get enchanting materials like you would if it was a normal item. And you can get rare and epic versions of these as well, and this can make you just a ridiculous amount of additional gold. And specifically when talking about the epic items you get from this, which aren't super uncommon, if you're going and doing like an AoE cloth farm or something, you'll probably get a couple of these an hour, and if you disenchant those epic mystic items, they can give you up to 4 of these resonant crystals, which are the epic enchanting materials, which last time I checked were still around 5,000 5,000 gold on my region. And you can get 1 to 4 of these resonant crystals for disenchanting 1 of those epic mystic materials. So if you get 4, that could potentially be upwards of 20,000 gold off one of them. And the reason you want to keep putting points into this is because you have increased chance to find mystic items. So 5% here and another 10% here. So that's going to help you quite a bit. And that's just going to be a ridiculous amount of additional gold doing anything. You'll start to get just tons of these doing big AoE mob grinding farms. You'll get tons of them from doing rep farms, doing dungeons. You'll just start to get a ton of them. And like I mentioned, anytime you get that epic mystic item, you just made 5 to 20,000 gold. And next, you're going to be putting your points into Draconic Disenchantment. Now this is essentially just going to buff up your disenchanting. So now you have a chance to gain just additional disenchanting items when you disenchant something, so you can just get more resources. And going to this top point, you just have a chance to get vibrant shards when disenchanting anything. And that is the rare enchanting material, which is right here. I think the last time I checked, this was like 60 gold a piece on my server. So disenchanting literally anything, even green items, can now give you vibrant shards. And as you'll see here, I only have 25 points into this right now. Once you get more points, you gain an additional chance to get more reagents. And then once you get to the final point, you now have a chance when disenchanting weapons to get resonant crystals. Now this should work on green weapons as well. So just doing AoE farms and getting any green weapons, you now will have a chance to get epic enchanting resources from disenchanting those. And I'm not sure how this is going to work on mystic items, because some of these mystic items seem to be a weapon, but I'm not sure how that actually works with this perk. And that's pretty much all you're going to have to do to get a massive amount of additional gold when you're doing pretty much anything in Dragonflight. Like I mentioned, you can do AoE farms, you can go do dungeons, you can go do rep farms, you can just go do any of that stuff. If you're killing humanoids or even just anything else, you're going to just be making a ton of additional gold. So I would definitely recommend choosing a good farming alt if you don't have a character that has tailoring and enchanting yet, and going into the specializations that I went over in this video. Classes that can be really good for this are monks, because they're always invited to the farm groups because of their statue. Those can be really good. Hunters or druids can be really good for pulling. I have it on a priest, which is still decent for pulling, but these are just the professions I already had on this character. So if you want one specifically for farming, any of those 3 I just mentioned are going to be incredibly good and invited to pretty much any AoE farming group. But that's pretty much all I want to go over. So subscribe if you want to see more World of Warcraft or other MMO videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Comment down below what you guys think about these professions. And thanks for watching.